boom, 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 boom. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Tiani, how are you doing, Tiani? I see you the first one. Thank you for liking. As you are coming through, please like the live. I always forget to include that. Please like the live as you come through. I see there's already four of you. Welcome to our Senzo Meyiwa Try Lunchtime Review. Hopefully we can make this a habit because now it is the defense who is now going to be presenting their rebuttal with everything that was submitted by the state. So I'm not quite sure how long this is going to take. I hope it's not going to take any longer than what the state has taken. But I think, considering that now we understand that the defense can call. The operative words here is can or are can call. Witnesses that the state did not call, which includes Kelly Kumalo, Longotwala, Mapiri, Makumalo, Kelly Kumalo, who else that was avoided by the state? Please do write in the comments. Bab Zungu, the senior, Zungu Junior. Okay, Zungu Junior. Of course, he was he did take the stand. Of course, we're gonna have Gininda back. We are also going to have the police officers, some of them. I still think that they need to get what's her name, Muhola back on the stand. There's some things that I would like to hear from her. Musia as well needs to be called back on the stand, as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to the bullet head that was found behind the glass jar. Why the first time he didn't see it, and why suddenly now he saw it again? He needs to come and jog our memories again. Like what exactly happened? Okay, we also need to have Longer Twala coming back. I'm still of the view, which guys are gonna hear my scenarios, and it's interesting how one of my scenarios is what Advocate Tefu is actually alluding to when he had a conversation with Longwe Twala in Sun City, the Johannesburg prison, when he drafted that affidavit. So that I do not blow my own horn, I would just challenge you to go back to my videos in the early days of the trial in 2023, where I did give these scenarios. But I'm going to do it again just so that you won't say, you're just saying it because Steffi saying it. That time, Steffi had not said anything. I didn't even, Steffi, I think, was in jail at that time. You will see that one of these scenarios is what he's actually telling right now on Sizwe Mbofu's channel or podcast, if I put it that way. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I was not far from, the mark. I wasn't far from the mark. The only thing that changes there is what changes there again? Or that he longer was invited by Uzandile. Mine doesn't say he was invited. Mine is more like she was evading him, but everything else connects exactly the way I put it together in my head. But you guys are gonna hear it again. It's gonna be a two-part. The first two scenarios and the second two scenarios. Even though YouTube is advising me to create podcast-like videos. So podcast-like videos, it will be what you're watching on McG, like 2 hour long, 3 hour long videos. But I'm thinking, will my community stomach 2 hours of content? I don't know. I have never tested it before. I think that the longest I've been on this channel probably would be like 45-minute long video. Yeah, so that's what YouTube is advising me to do like a 2 hour podcast like content. And I'm like, ooh, okay. No, I just started right now. I just started right now. Probably how long? 4 minutes ago. I just started 4 minutes ago. So yeah, I don't know. It's something that I'm gonna do poll on, and you guys can vote on it. And it's not going to be like what do you call this, a regular thing. Maybe once or twice a week we'll have like a podcast style type of videos where we just talk about everything that transpired in Judge Rata's courtroom, and all of that. But let's talk about this morning, guys. I am still upset. I don't want to lie. I am so upset about what transpired this morning. I felt like there was so much disrespect that was um, that was done by the South African Correctional Services. And to think that Mr. Koza even alluded that this decision or the discussion went as far as the top. So now the top is where? National Commissioner or all the way to the Minister of Correctional Services? Because clearly the fact that Mr. Koza had the gumption and the audacity to come to court this morning, that means indeed the top actually gave him the go ahead to come and oppose a judge's order. And to disrespect this entire case, I found that so upsetting. Like you always waste our time. We always blame Judge Rata. We thought he's the one who was coming to court late and starting the matter late. We did not quite look at his because he sounds like a perfectionist to me. Perfectionists, they are always on time. So we never thought of that because our emotions are more like when you are with the state. Not that I'm defending him in any way, uh, but I thought as well as a judge, he ought to have said something to the correctional services people because they are there in court every single day. I mean, at least chastise them and say, you understand that your guys are wasting court's time as well as the taxpayers' money when you are bringing the people that are accused of this matter late to court because the times are so erratic. Sometimes an entire hour we have to wait, only to find out that no, it's actually been the correctional services. Yesterday, Judge Rata did something quite smart, which right now I'm still like, yeah, well, anyways, that's what intelligent people do. They tend to speak with silence, loud. And so he just, I don't know what he told the SABC and them to do, but you could tell that they were showing him sitting on his bench. I mean, the camera would just be fixated on him that he's here, he's busy flipping through whatever it is that he's reading. I guess he's reading the evidence that's been presented. And then from there the camera would pan in where the accused are supposed to be seated, starting from the left hand side where Danzi and Muzi would be sitting, and then it will pan to the right where you will find three, four, and five seated, and then it will go back to Judge Rata. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I see the message, sir. I get the message. You are loud and clear. You are on time. You've always been on time. And the people that are the ones that are wasting your time are the people that's supposed to bring the accused to the court. We got it like perfectly. And this morning he confirmed that. Judge Rata confirmed. I'm thinking, okay. I wonder if he's born in July. Does anybody know which month Judge Rata is born? Because it's giving me cancer vibes. Like, because sometimes we speak with silence, like, look around, it's not my fault. Type of situation. Anyways, we'll continue with this discussion. Please come through with your own review of today, this morning, or any other. And what are your predictions regarding the rebuttal that is going to come from the defense? I like what Advocate Timnisi did, though. You know, I know he knows the law, and he knows that once the state closes its case, it now falls completely on the defense's side. So I saw what he was the strategy that he was throwing out there, so that when they start arguing, it will not be a matter of we did not challenge this. You know how Baloy allows that you forget things, and then when you start arguing, he stands up and says, no, 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 they did not canvass that. Remember the trial within the trial, how angry we were, like, oh, they're leaving things hanging. The defense will leave things hanging without challenging them. And now it's catching up with them. And Judge Rat will be like, well, you did not canvass it. And you were like, whoa, why didn't they canvass this? And that is why the decision is going to be against them type of situation. So I think that's exactly what Advocate Mnisi was doing. I mean, yeah, Mnisi was doing. Like, we did challenge the AVLs of the Qashqai. We did challenge the AVL of the other Fortuner. We also did challenge the legitimacy of the footage by ENCA and John Bailey refusing to come and testify, and the realness of the evidence itself. And then shamelessly, Mr. Balo, which I guess I understand, um, uh, used what's his name, the late Ngome Zulu's submissions about Longwe having to pew pew himself on the foot and all of that stuff. So I thought that was quite interesting. And also how Mr. Nisi sort of also educated us about how processes also work when it comes to what do you call this, witnesses that were not called on the stand by the state. That, I mean, you heard what Baloy said. He said, well, the defense has the right to call any witness that was not called by the state. And I was like, yes, because we always know that the case belongs to the state. Any witness that was not called by the state, therefore, can't be called by the defense. They're at the mercy of the state or something like that. But when I heard that, I was like, Kelly, are you ready, ma'am? Mapiri, are you ready? Makumale, are you ready? Everyone, Longway, are you ready? Because they gotta be called on the stand. They have to be called on the stand. And let's see how it all goes. Unless I totally misunderstood all of that, I don't know. We'll see. I apologize that I'm wearing this, guys. I am so cold where I am. It's very, very cold. I've run out of my gas cylinder last night. It just went, and so until I go later on this early evening to fill it up, and then things will go back to a bit normal. Tiri, what's happening? When did you start? Oh, I started about 12 minutes ago, but you came through 4 minutes after I started. 4 minutes after I started. Nonjola, how are you doing? Still waiting for the court. No, the court did start, but they're on long adjournment right now, and the defense is now going to be rebutting the state's submissions. Pagamisa say, good afternoon, clan. Well, how are you doing, Pagamisa? It's so good to see you. Looking forward to the live. I missed the whole morning session. Big ups to you, Mr. Dumagute. Thank you. Trust me, this morning, when the correctional services came there to demand things, it was upsetting. I don't want to lie. They did not want to adhere to the order the judge made yesterday regarding Fiso Tuli, who complained of being mistreated at Hosimampuru, not given blankets and all of that, and taken to CMAX on a lie, which I do believe that it's a lie by the correctional services. I'm not convinced of the story they told. With even the attempt that they made this morning, I don't believe it. I believe that they were trying to shift the investigations away from themselves, because for Vusimuzi Cat Matlala to have a cell phone, somebody must have brought it in there. And so that's the distraction that they were trying to do by using Fiso Bushentuli. So no, 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 no. I did not buy that. And of course, Judge Rata made an order that he be moved from Hoshimampuru to Liokop prison, or Max CMAX, where he's always been, he says, and that's where he'll be more comfortable. So they came to reverse that decision. They want to keep him in Hoshimampuru, and also to brandish him as a liar, because The guy was so adamant that he's lying. We're like, please, sir, you're the one we believe is lying. We're the one who believe that you are lying, not him. Not him. I mean, with all the accusations as well, like serious accusations that were made by Janet Kwanaze, do you think we would trust anything that comes out of your people's mouths? And on top of that, the violation of the Constitution, and you have to be taught in court today about constitutional rights of inmates. That was embarrassing. Honestly speaking, absolutely embarrassing. But upsetting at the same time because this was a waste of our taxpayer money as well as the court's time, which is also part of the taxpayers' money. Dorcas says, hi, Clan. How are you doing, Dorcas? So good to see you. Inside Pagati within and get like. Please do like the video. Thank you so very much, Dorcas. Good to see you. JJVD, what's happening? I haven't seen you in a long time on these streets. I'm glad you're fine. The correctional services have been caught red-handed. Like what I've been saying, guys, these guys need to go for a constitutional law classes for a year. I don't know what are your thoughts about that. It feels like maybe most of the government department officials that deal with people, obviously they're going to be dealing with people. They need to learn that the people that are out there, they got constitutional rights and they need to treat us as such. Not like this is their spaza shop. The way they are behaving as if government is their spaza shop and they can do whatever they want. Otherwise, explain this morning in court. Explain this morning in court. They thought the truth won't come out. It's high time these institutions are held accountable. Exactly. That's what I want to know. What happens when a South African's constitutional rights are violated? Who should be held accountable? What charges, if there are any, or it's upon the person whose rights were violated to lodge a civil claim, like a lawsuit or something like that. I don't know because I wouldn't think it's going to be a criminal offense. But I think it's a lawsuit. Like what's his name? Fiso Kutlentuli, if he feels like he wants to sue the Department of Correctional Services for the way they've been treating him, I'm sure it's a plausible case. It's a plausible case. And where he speaks of any form of violence, then of course that becomes a criminal matter. Now, who police the police in this situation? So yeah, it's about time. I think there needs to be some kind of a law that is created to protect our constitutional rights against the people who absolutely do not know what that is, like the correctional services officials, by the look of things. Sammy, what's up? He watched Judge Erasmus. Who Judge Erasmus? But guys, okay, I know he sometimes dribbles me, Ujajarata, but these days I'm super impressed. I don't wanna lie. I was impressed yesterday, and I am impressed again this morning with the way he's handling this situation. So I wish he was like that all throughout this trial. Honestly, I don't think we would be in the position we are in when it comes to him. Nombuso says, "Hi bo, Anisas Ansasho says ziyakhala. Hayi bo, njengoba sikrima kangaka on top of ey'ntabeni sithi hayi bo ziyasha." Oh man. Mazita say, hi Clan, how are you doing, Mazita? This week Baloy wasn't himself. He sounds sickish. Remember, strenuation and not all that looks like gold is gold. With the mountain on fire, I think I would sound sickish too, and I'll keep looking at the door who's coming. Because the last thing we want is what happened, what we witnessed. I mean, well, I wasn't there. I didn't see the first trial. What happened to what's his name, Advocate Dev? So Who knows? But indeed, what glitters is not gold, I tell you. What glitters is not always gold, indeed. I agree with that. Mamukapi says, for me, the first person I need is Bab Zungu. So Rata discharges this case. Hmm. He is definitely an ace up the defense's sleeve because the opening of this case, who, Uzungu Jr., he was number what on the list of eyewitness, I mean, of witnesses? Number four. We had Uzandile, we had Umtogo, we had Umelo, we had Ntapseng, then we had Uzungu. Am I calling them in the correct order? Oh, no, no, no. Okay, I'm just talking, okay, because there were also the first responders. Maybe they were the first. I can't remember how it was. It was 2003 anyway, so 2023. But, anyways, that's besides the point. But I agree with you. I agree with you that, but again, I don't think that it will just end like that. I don't think it will end like that. I think it's going to go all the way through, and then Mr. Mnisi or the defense will argue when they close the towards the end of the case. In arguments, that's when they would include Ubabzungu Jun, I mean Senior, testimony. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Babes, how are you doing? Hey, Clan and fam, what's up? What's up? How are you doing? Mazita says, I won't mind when they start with Umakubo to hear all how did they go separate ways. Oh, that would be very nice. Yeah, I think Makubo is going to testify in favor of the defense because we need to hear how things turn out the way they did. And then let's link what he's going to say with what General Kantam Kwanazi also said when it came to prominent people when it's time for their arrest. That way we get to hear as well who is the person that is being covered up for, or people that are being covered up for. That also includes the person that actually pulled the trigger. I still say it was by accident. I still say it was by accident. Yeah, I've maintained this since 2015. This part of the accident, I never changed my mind on it because to me, it sounded like that. I held on to uDubuleke ngephutha, the name that starts with an L. Me, I don't think it was that. It was somebody else. You'll hear in my scenarios when I talk about them this coming weekend. Babes says, what makes someone wonder why they insist on him remaining in Mampuru? Yeah, that was actually my question as well this morning. I'm like, why are they so adamant? But I also think it's if they are trying to save face, like, oh my goodness, the public is going to think we are horrible here. It's too late. In fact, the fact that they came this morning just kind of like said, nah, they really are horrible people towards Fiso Gushen Ntuli. Horrible people towards him. So it just kind of like confirmed whatever suspicion you may have had about them. I thought what they did was evil to try and smear uh, a mistake of one of the officials who probably is supplying these cell phones to inmates. And then they did not think about a surprise raid. And so when the surprise raid happened, the investigation is going to be, but this person is in CMAX. This person is in CMAX. How did they get hold of a cell phone? Obvious. Obvious. So let's swap the prisoners to confuse the investigation. I mean, Fiso Butlentuli said something that made perfect sense. especially when you are connecting everything else that's in Tlatlam Kwanazi has said. I mean, we even heard situations where when police are investigating, they just walk into the evidence room, open a zip bag with a gun, and then they take the same gun, and which probably the case has been resolved, and smear it on somebody and say, oh, by the way, there's the gun that did this, just so they win the case. So why wouldn't we believe what Fiso Kutlentuli is saying about correctional services when they could be the ones that brought those contrabands to people that are in prison? So to confuse the entire, what do you call this, the entire investigations there to swap them. Because another thing that makes me not to buy the correctional services story is when the media was there. The media asked about Tabo Besta. What was found in Tabo Besta? There are people that Tabo Besta is a high profile. Fiso Kutlentuli is a high profile. What's his name? Untanz is a high profile, and accused number three is also Mube, is a high profile, and they're all in Jose Mampuru prison. Why are you only focusing on Tabo Besta and you're not focusing on these other three? I mean, yeah, other three. Because if something was found in their cell, they would have reported that, oh, one of the accused of the Senzo Meyiwa, they found a contraband in his cell. But that was not reported, which makes me think, it's a lie. Sorry, Mr. Cause, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Not for 1 second do I believe you. You're one of your men you are covering up for that brought in contrabands to inmates. Because how does a visitor brings a contraband to Hosimampuru? What are you saying about Hosimampuru? What are you saying about that prison? Because all of us that are on the outside, we thinking, yo, that prison, yes, La Payana, you don't play there. That's what we all believe. But now when you hear the contrabands were found in there, you're like, ja, ni how? Whether there's C-Max or there's medium B and medium A or whatever it's called, at the end of the day, there are men that we entrusted and they wear brown uniform written correctional services on their shoulders. They are the ones who are supposed to be guarding against all these things. And yet, here they are. And who holds them accountable? That raid that took place on the 8th of July, who is holding the people that are guarding them accountable? Where the punishments? Where suspensions? And what makes us think, Utenege, there will never be another smuggling of things into that prison if there are no consequences? Kanti, what are you guys running there? That is why I'm calling the correctional services an entire sponsor shop. Those people do as they please. They don't even know the constitution of this country. No repercussions for the officials. And that's why they will continue bringing in contrabands. And every time when there's things found, they're going to do what they did to Fiso Buhlentuli. We don't believe that. He actually, there was a cell phone found. I don't believe that. For a second, they failed. They failed. Now we're looking at Jose Mampuri differently. I mean, we should have had our questions back in 2000 and when 2002, when Ananias Mata escaped covering himself with Vaseline, and he actually walked out of Jose Mampuri prison when he was in CMAX. We should have been putting our eye ever since then. I mean, he walked out of CMAX, walked out. I know. I'm sorry. Try again next time. Mamuhapi says that lecture from Nisi and Rams to Matlala. It was cause. It was cause. It was so. Yeah, it was. It was a whole constitutional 101 lecture. That one, and I felt it as well. I was like, But this is exactly what we've been talking about also here on this channel. Exactly what was said. We have discussed it here as well. See why I love you guys. See why I love y'all. Yeah, Nishluzile. I'm telling you. Kilebukile says signing that register. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Please like the live. Please like the live. I will I'll appreciate that. Babe says all government employees should be tested every year on their knowledge of the Constitution, period. And they must score high because you're dealing with a sensitive matter of rights. The Bill of Rights, guys, is very important. Yes, some rights may be limited, but there are those like dignity and life. They are not subject to the limitation, and seemingly they are failing to respect that. I agree with you, babes. And you cannot get a job from government if you do not have a constitutional law certificate, whether you're a police officer, correctional services officer, or some government department. Without that, I sorry, you cannot get the qualification. I mean, the job. You shouldn't. Otherwise, be willing to be subjected to go and for a year constitutional law 101. Because ngeke, the way we get treated sometimes makes you think, am I in South Africa? Am I in South Africa or am I in some dictatorship country? Aye. Mamukabi says, and there shows are begging on behalf of his client that Rata doesn't recall the order and him threatening to recall it if he's satisfied that they bring the guys on time. I was like, Rata Haibo, I'm telling you, which should be at like bring these guys on time. Don't say this in passing, but then again, it was an informal discussion. That one, it was an informal discussion, but yeah, but still, though, still, taxpayers' money and the court's time is being wasted. Skumbuzo says, "Good day. I hope you're good. Thank you so much, Skumbuzo. I hope you're good too. Time to see Zungu. Which one? Ubab Zungu or the sun?" But yeah, both of them. I would like to hear from Junior Uguti. What are you saying about what your father has been saying? Because there's no way, as a child, you're gonna say your father is the one that's lying. Can't be. Can't be. You cannot be creating a body for yourself. And he's an old man, this one. He's alone, and you still be around. Hmm? Mazita says, we are living in interesting times, very, very interesting times. And sometimes when you think about them, they can be very scary too. Mkwanazi broke the hell loose with police. Wafagazelwa Ubab. Yeah, definitely. You know, when Ubab Zungu started speaking, you cannot help but think of what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi did. You just cannot. Everything, you know, those dots just keep connecting, keep connecting, keep connecting. And I want them to connect all the way, to where, right? Yeah. But I think that's where they are headed. Because, as you know, they say there's no honor amongst, yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. When I was listening to Ubab Zungu, I was like, I couldn't help. Even when Ufiso Ushentuli was stating his case yesterday, Tlatam Corners was on my head. I'm telling you. Tabiso says, big thumbs for Judge about his decision yesterday and today's proceeding. Yeah, such wisdom that he demonstrated yesterday and today. Even today, he sealed it for me. I was like, wow, Judge Arata, wow. Wow. I mean, he subdued Ukoza, who came there with, you could tell in his voice the confidence. I subdued him to a point where he says, I respect the order. I'm like, if you respected the order, you wouldn't be here in court this morning. You wouldn't have come to court this morning if you respected the order that was made yesterday. You would have done the transfer as per the order And today, the 24th of July, Fiso Buhlentuli would be housed in Luakop, not in Hosemampur. But no, you don't want him to leave because it's gonna make you look bad. Too late. Maybe if you treated the inmates better, we wouldn't be in this situation. And especially if you knew the Constitution, we wouldn't be in this situation. Mamu Happy says Babu Zungu was called a star witness, not Tatu Zungu. Has to be the first and our star witness. Yeah, I think Babu Zungu was called a key witness and the son the star witness. I don't understand what the difference is, key and star. I'm not quite sure which one carries more weight. I think the junior carries more weight because he was there. Remember, even though I'm asking myself, how is it possible that you're sitting amongst criminals that just committed a heinous crime, and you stay for 6 years with this heinous crime and you don't report it, and then it is explained in ways that doesn't make sense. I get it. This case, I'm telling you. Babu Kabi says, so why can't we get Section 174 of Criminal Procedure Act? Uh, I would have thought when, what's his name, George Baloy closed this case this morning, he would have said, well, we'll also like to make a special application of Section 174 because we do not have sufficient evidence against the five people, but he's quite adamant that they are the people, even though there's fire on the mountain. Makubo and Tatu Zungu are the best for me. We can have Defu too. Yeah, yeah, Makubo definitely. I think he's a big ace up the sleeve, especially that departure from the investigation. But then again, I think I also want to know how many were there initially, because I think we were told there were 44 down to four. Now, where did they separate? I would like to hear that because I'm on Makubo and Butele's side. From what I keep hearing, I'm like, okay, they make a whole lot of sense to me than what is being presented by 636. Google Shange, what's up? What's up, sis? Uyabona Ukoza was cut from the same cloth as Gininda Stru. Hey, the first thing that came to mind was that I was like, hey, nah. I don't know where they get these people from, honestly. The way he doesn't want to move Ntuli and saying they know the offender's shenanigans, their behavior. I was like, I bonangu muntu bo continues. I roll my eyes 1,000 times. Mina, I was like, "Ah, yeah, man. I kept going. Oh, you know the shenanigans, and he was talking about the attitude. The attitude is what because he exposed y'all. He exposed y'all. How did those contrabands got into Jose Mampur? Don't tell me that they go out, but then they are guarded, aren't they? And they guarded. Or you guys are taking advantage of, oh, we don't have the correct equipment to search them when they come from the outside. That's an excuse. And what is your training? What is your training? Because your training acknowledges we do not have proper equipment, like technological equipment, to search the inmates when they're coming from court. How all this time, let's go back into the days of apartheid. How did the apartheid prison wardens make sure that people did not have contrabands on them? Hmm? Don't give that excuse. It's embarrassing. Go back. The only people that can bring things into the prison are the people who have access of going in and out as free people. And who are those? And they're wearing the brown uniform. And they're wearing the brown uniform. I we must not be made fools, guys. We must not be made fools. I mean, I think we've been quiet for a very long time. Don't make us fools. It's not gonna work in your favor, especially now more than ever. Mamukabi says they come here to try and do damage control after Ntulis expose them. Exactly. That's how it felt like. Exactly how it felt like. Goba, how did those contrabands go in? How did, let's say Ntuli had it, uyithole kanjani, Mr. Cos? Uyithole kanjani? Because in this court, when he goes out, I don't know if you see how many correctional services men and women that are there. If then you are saying he got it in there, then suspend them. Suspend them. All those correctional services officials that bring him to court, suspend all of them, investigate all of them. Because how would he would have gotten a cell phone into Hosimampuru prison? How? How? If he's visited by his wife, isn't the stuff searched? Then suspend the people who were supposed to search his whatever it's brought to him by his wife or family member that visits him. Suspend them and investigate Uba Kloshe. Don't make fools of us. We're not stupid. Kate says, time for fireworks to begin now. Oh, I think what's his name? Untlantam Kwanazi meant to, ignite the fireworks. Instead, he ignited an entire. Okay, I don't know if I can say this, but that boom thing. That's what he did. Mamukabi says Rams said he's been a lawyer for 100. This is 1,000 years. Okay, I know he was being metaphoric. I laughed and knows he would have to talk prisons attorneys. I was like, I have come to admire Rams even more. I've always admired Ramosili. I've always, in the beginning, I was not feeling him, but yo, he proved me wrong. He proved me wrong, and I've been impressed with him since 2000, early to 2024. I'm like, this guy is actually super intelligent, and he's meticulous, and he so good with technical stuff. That guy can tear a pew pew apart and tell you its part as he's putting it together. I mean, like, and then on top, the other thing that made me so impressed with Ramosipili, that he's a bookworm. He's an avid reader. And I'm like, no wonder you are this sharp, bro. No wonder you're this sharp. Man. And the part that actually really, really got me was when he said I think he graduated from WITS in 1989 or something like that. And I was like, how old are you, sir? You look like you are 35. That really blew me away, actually. I was blown away. So no, I've always had respect for him, Shem. I always did. Valentine, how are you doing? You asked for a live, and here we are. Yeah, we are live today because of Valentine Zulu. I had to do some little shift, this, and that, so that we'll be here during the long adjournment. Lucia says, I wonder Iyozala Nkomoni once the defense lawyers start calling their witnesses. Can't wait. Hey, bathi inkomo iyayizala nomuntu, which I don't think so. I know it's metaphor, the Zulu idioms. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, uyayizala umuntu inkomo. I don't know. But yeah, so Bonio Zala Nkomoni indeed when the defense, because I think they have some aces up their sleeves. I think they do, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Mamu Happy says prison wardens are the ones bringing all the contrabands. That's the only sense to me. That's the Otherwise, what is their job? because their job is not just to guard people physically that they are there, but also what goes in and what goes out. That means that they failed in that on that aspect, and they need to be suspended. They need to be disciplined and dismissed. You cannot now come to court and say he's lying. A prisoner is lying. Let's say yes, he had them. Where did he get that cell phone? Who brought it to him? That entire shift or shifts need to be suspended and disciplined. He is in jail for 6 life sentences. He's got nothing to lose. That's another thing that makes me believe him because he's got nothing to lose. Why would he jeopardize the comfort of being in a different section of the prison and go and get punished by CMAX when he's going to be there for a very, very long time and jail? That's why I'm saying, no, 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 I believe him. I don't believe you. How did those contrabands get to him? There was a cell phone found there. Yeah, no. How did it get there? Except for people who have access of going in and out. That means they're committing a crime by taking bribes. They're committing the crime of bringing a contraband. They are also committing another crime by being bribed, taking money from prisoners to bring them things in there. Ah, yeah, no, things we limb. Mazda says, Clan, I can't remember Mapisa being mentioned once. Why is I've been asking that question since 2023? Because you would hear Ntanzi's name, then you would hear Moses Sibia's name, then you would hear Ngube's name, and then he's jumped to Ntuli and the phone and Kelly Kumala allegedly. And then Mapisa is just there, like, okay, what about me? What about me? I couldn't just be a furniture PCA in this entire thing. Awa, come on. Gladness says, wow, advocates can call anyone from the list of Balo. I was excited when I heard that, Gladness. I was like, Kelly, finally you're gonna get your day in court. And I suspect suddenly we're gonna see an arrest of Kelly Kumalo to avoid her becoming a witness. I think that's what we're going to see. She's going to get arrested. Hmm. I don't know what the process is when she is actually arrested, and the defense may want to call her. I think they want to call her. Google says after Singabako Umalo statement last night, there was no need for cause. Yeah, he failed to come yesterday, and his team to come to court. Instead, they just proved the incompetencies. They should have came yesterday. Now he's like, oh, Mister, what's his name that was there? Tsabengu. Was it Tsabengu? Yeah, Sandy Tsabengu was the incorrect person, and I was like, but the judge was very clear who should come to court. When you decide to stay back, and when now the fire started burning on the mountain, you are running to court to try and save face, and you came to embarrass correctional services. Like, yes. Thank you, Dorcas. Thank you, Dorcas, so very much. May you be blessed. Thank you so much. Abundance, abundance, abundance of blessings to you. Thank you. Mamu Happy says number 30% pass mark because, or no 30% pass mark because it now feels like 2%. Hey, I am telling you, ooh, Pena, that's a retardation right there. Oh my gosh. But hey, people. Mazita says, and Mamu Hapo say, he made sure that Rata doesn't match him. Today is 55 years experience. Well, yeah, because when was it, 2023, he mentioned 50. So if you count from there coming now, it's almost 55. It's almost now 55. Because the first time we heard the 50-year experience, it was when he took over the matter, July of 2023. Babes is also government officials that they don't know their duties. They might have authorities by there and are ruled by the law of government. Yeah, but the thing is, as well, Belgium, we must also remember that some of these guys, the way they got the jobs, yeah, some of them didn't go for training. Some of them don't qualify simply because they're doing some nefarious things with people in charge and they get these jobs and they never bother themselves to actually learn what the job is actually about so that, like, you equip yourself. I think if I had the privilege of knowing somebody in a position of power in government, and then they say, "Oh, because you're my friend, I'm giving," I would bother myself. I would bother myself and advance myself as well in the ranks, like going through causes or even take myself completely and go for a cause at UNISA. It's to empower myself. But no, they get comfortable in these positions and still do all the wrong things. And then when you have to question them, now they look dumb. It's like Inkabi. Have you seen when Inkabi attends court after being caught? Look at the guy that unalived the auditor in Ekuruleni. He appeared in court yesterday. Do you see how dumb he looks? Do you see how dumb he looks? That's how some of these guys look like. Like when you are questioning them about their duty, it's like you're asking a grade zero how to put one and one together. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. They don't. Some of them don't know their duties because they're not supposed to be in those positions, especially the Constitution. Mamu Happy says, "Thanks, my friend. May your bonds remain filled." Thank you. Okay, I see what you mean. Thank you. For from doctors. Mam Happy says, indeed so. The Rams doesn't even want him to think he can soon say, "I'm catching you at 100 years spillion." Lily, how are you doing? Good afternoon to you. Can't wait for Uncle Absalom Zungu and son. And without Ubabu, Ubabu Kubo. Oh, Makubo. Makubo. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Thank you. Thank you so much, Doc. So Valentine says, "Cause killed me with or after he even overcame the judge interjecting him. It's like he was saying, I am in charge. How dare you?" Like the power that he came with this morning. Hey, but at the end, yo, he was down here. He was like, yeah. You could just literally almost feel his energy falling. I was like, yeah, Papa. Lily says, "Judge Rata, I really appreciate you. You came as a father with a heart." He did since yesterday. I was like, yesterday I was super impressed. I was so super impressed, but at the same time, I was very reluctant in expressing how impressed I am because he always dribbles me. Sometimes he dribbles me. Sometimes he dribbles. Admittedly, I've always admitted that sometimes Urata really does. Yang dribble, I mean, Urata. Oh my gosh. Oh man, TD. Oh, TD. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Kwande siswami la uthatha khona nkosi yami yokuphuphume, kwande kuphume, please. Thank you so much. Mamu Happy says Baloy and Gininda advise Koza to try and see if Rad would change because Tell me why Baloy did not advise them. Because you know how we'll be like, instead of postponing this matter, I think we can have a discussion outside and come to an amicable agreement, like a gentleman's. Why would this one, he did not say that to them? Like, no, 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 we don't have to go inside court because a judgment has been made or an order has been made. If you're unhappy about it, you just have to lodge a review. No, he introduces them to Judge Rata. What? Maybe he thought he's gonna change his. Who knows? Who knows? Because I was quite shocked as well, like how Ubalo always talks about, discussing things outside, not bring them inside court. Why different with this one? Missy and Ram saw through him and lectured Koza as well as Rata, who tends to ignore the constitution. That's why we're super impressed with Rata. This yesterday. Doc says, Nisi show cause of flames. Yo, I even Unakuzada, Rams was like a rat, you bite and blow, you don't feel the pain, but Lumile. That's how Rams did it. Yeah, I was like, wow, Rams. Hey, hey, you must never be underestimated ever again. I'm telling you, Doctor says, thank you, T. Thank you, T. Indeed. Thank you so much. Bless your heart. Mujalifa, my Coca-Cola addict friend here. I know I'm hanging your our business. Say Sunny Bonani and Genie of honorable clan members. Sawbona, honorable clan member as well. Mujalifa, how are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. And as upset as we are about what happened this morning in court, but impressed by Judge Rata though. That was so mature, so wise, absolutely fatherly as well. Babe says there is always something about that prison. It has to be investigated, Sham. I think it's run by incompetent people. I think what we saw this morning is evidence of that. That incompetence, people don't understand important things like the discretion of a court, the constitution. Nje, I would like to know how they got those jobs and promotions. Tammy says, actually, Clancis, you are right. They shouldn't really be blaming the inmates, but their own officials of failing systems. Absolutely. That prison has been running ever since it was built, and no contrabands were ever found. If there were, I'm sure people heads rolled. Why would these ones they are not rolling? Every time there's a raid, how did they get there? You cannot blame it on the inmate. Kanti, what is your job? Mazita says, Clan, to me, it sounds interesting with me when Mr. Lionel Zwane says, I'm for Sibia. Oh gosh, I keep thinking about the rolling hills of KwaZulu Natal when there is some kind of a situation and somebody comes out for us, man, but Mamugabi says it's them correctional services that bring the cell phones in cells. They say the guys put the phones in the behind. But whatever happened to stripping them and squatting? I know it sounds a bit inhumane, but it worked in the past. It worked. So if they say, "Oh, we don't have the equipment," then they need to show when did they ever ask for those equipment and who is responsible in purchasing those equipment and which parliament that did not listen and hear their cry about those equipment. They relaxed and folded their arms. And that is why contrabands are going in and out. Who's bringing them? And the people that are guarding them as well, when they go to court, kantina by kantin. What? Why are they guarding? I don't understand. But let's say it was indeed, what's his name? I'm still on that one. Let's say Fiso Gushle, with all the correctional services and SAPS that are in this court, fire them, fire all of them. If he got it from court and went with it inside, fire those men and women. That will take you serious. Webster says Ramosipili is 100 years now. I know. Today it was about grammar, grammar, grammar. Like, mwah. I'm telling you. Emily says, Hi, Glances, how are you doing? These corrections officers are corrupt. So said Mkwanazi. And Tabo Bester said it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because how did those contrabands got in there? Lucia says once the defense witnesses start testifying, I see Baloy jumping up and down as Advocate Ramusipili once said, oh yeah, there are gonna be some objections. Definitely. I can't wait to see them. Babes says Rams is fed up with this court and he is knowledgeable. Oh yeah, he's very very knowledgeable. I see it's 2 o'clock. Let's see if we can't run through the comments and then we close the live. I think I'll come back at 9 p.m. again, but we'll see. Webster says Mr. Cosette today met educated court. They shower him. Uh, a whipping. He got a whipping. He was here. I, I was like, yeah, now walk away. Shameful. Mamuhabi says, Iyo Zala Amatriplets. He's this morning. Super knowledge sharing channel. What's up? The judge was about to reverse yesterday's judgment. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he knows that he cannot reverse it. The only time it can be reversed is through a rescindance, and that rescindance is done through an application by the aggrieved party, which would be the correctional services. So I think what his argument was more like, are you sure that a judge can't revisit the order? I mean, we've seen Judge Rata revisiting his own order. Remember when Uzungu went to KwaZulu Natal, that judgment, I believe he revisited it and changed it. And we all were like, Johnny. So, yeah. And Mnisi spoke based on the Constitution to support the judgment. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was very nice. So, I mean, we got to learn, and we continue to learn by this case, guys. The Criminal Procedure Act. How many of us will say we still don't understand it? I think I do. I mean, I'm a person when I hear something, I dig into it, like really dig into it, and try my level best to understand it. I'll ask questions to relevant people. What does this mean? So that when I speak, I'm not going to. Yes, I might not be accurate, but at least I would be as close as I can to what is actually going on. Babe says Mapisa is an honorable guest. This uphelezelile uyakhapha. Mama Gabi says, hey, Batung. They said Ntuli spoke to his wife. I don't think I would still be married to someone who's given 6 life sentences. Haibo, I feel. You remember from for better, for worse, da 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 da. But I'm also starting to think it back. The thing is, the visitation alone, to me, it feels like I'm also in there. I ain't gag. Divorce. I think they are back. Oh, Dawkins is a new member. Woo! How are you doing? Okay, guys, they are back. Let me read the thingy and then we. Mamu
Yeah.
Hafiza is this year. Okay, they're back.
Thank
We'll
you
see
for
each
the
other
nice
later. We'll
introduction.
see each other later, guys. Thank you so much.
we've got
Uh,
instructions from our clients.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Need to bring in an